There is a specific kind of trouble that only exists at 2311 Racing. Tyler Reddick is fighting for the #1 seed in the chase against Denny Hamlin, and Denny Hamlin co-owns the car that Tyler Reddick drives. On Sunday at Iowa Speedway, Tyler Reddick handed his boss another gift, crashing out on lap 4 of the Iowa Corn 350 and collecting Erik Jones in the process. Denny Hamlin, at age 45, is putting together the best statistical season of his career. The crash itself is not the real story here. What the crash confirms is the story, and that story is a summer-long collapse that has already cost Tyler Reddick the points lead he once held by a margin that looked untouchable. Let us start with exactly what happened on August 9, 2026 at Iowa Speedway. Tyler Reddick arrived at the Iowa Corn 350 in strong shape on paper. He qualified 5th on Saturday with a lap of 133.911 miles per hour. Erik Jones rolled off 10th in the number 43 Legacy Motor Club Toyota, and Erik Jones had posted the fastest single-lap speed of anybody in practice. Both drivers had reason to expect a productive afternoon. Both cars were running inside the top 10 in the opening laps, and the two of them were racing each other for roughly 7th position when everything came apart. It happened on lap 4 in turn 1. Tyler Reddick's number 45 Toyota hit the bumps entering the corner, got loose, and slid up the racetrack. The car snapped sideways and slammed into Erik Jones. Both Toyotas made hard contact with the outside wall, and for Tyler Reddick it was essentially a head-on collision. The damage ended both days immediately. The 2311 Racing crew examined the number 45 and found a hole in the radiator that could not be repaired. The team retired the car before the end of Stage 1. Tyler Reddick was credited with a 36th place finish, which earned him exactly 1 point. Erik Jones was credited with 35th, 4 laps. That is the entire afternoon. What followed was notable, because Tyler Reddick did not hide from any part of it. After being released from the infield care center, he spoke to reporters and placed the mistake entirely on himself, without qualification, and without pointing anywhere else. It was a bit uncharacteristic for sure, Tyler Reddick said. First off, I obviously hate it from my team, but Erik Jones and everybody at Legacy, they needed a strong day, and it's not ideal. If I'm going to take myself out, that's one thing, but I took out a fellow Toyota teammate that needed to have a good day. So, 100% it's on me. He went further, describing the mistake as something outside his normal pattern as a driver. It's something I normally don't make those kinds of mistakes, so very disappointed, obviously, he said. We had signs of that in Run 1 in practice out of our Supply House Camry, and in Run 2, qualifying, our car was much better. It's gut-wrenching on a lot of levels. I thought we kind of figured out what we needed to do for the race today and made a killer mistake early. That detail about practice deserves attention. Tyler Reddick is saying the car showed that loose tendency during the first practice run and that the qualifying setup masked it well enough that the team believed the problem had been solved. That points toward a setup issue riding underneath the driver error, not simply a moment of carelessness. In a separate set of comments, Tyler Reddick used even stronger language about his own performance. I just lost the car, honestly, he said. It just snapped on me. If I'm by myself, I probably can save it. Just unfortunate that we ran out of room, got into him, and we both wrecked. It's not ideal. Unacceptable, really. It's one thing to wreck myself, but taking out a Toyota teammate is not what I'm supposed to do. Erik Jones, for his part, refused to assign blame. His reading of the incident was straightforward, and he pointed out that Tyler Reddick paid the same price. I think Tyler just got loose and crashed, Erik Jones said. Then nothing more to say. I know he didn't mean to do it. He took himself out too. But it is frustrating. It's just really early. It was 10 to go, I get it, but it's lap 3, so it's just frustrating. The frustration for Erik Jones was the timing more than the contact. A crash this early gives a team no opportunity to recover, adjust, or salvage stage points. You don't expect it either in the top 10, top 5. You don't think you are going to get caught up in something crazy like that, he added. Now let us look at the numbers, because the numbers explain why this particular crash carries so much weight. Through the first 9 races of the 2026 season, Tyler Reddick was operating at a historic level. He had 5 wins. He had 6 top 5 finishes and 7 top 10 finishes. He had 3 poles. He had led 199 laps, which accounted for 7.6% of all laps run. His average starting position was 6.1, and his average finishing position was 5th. He had 0 races that he failed to finish, 9 lead lap finishes, and his worst result across those 9 races was a 15th. Fans were comparing that opening stretch to Dale Earnhardt's 1987 season, and the comparison was not unreasonable. His points cushion reflected that dominance. Following a top 5 run at Watkins Glen, Tyler Reddick led the standings by 129 points with 14 races remaining before the regular season cutoff. That kind of margin, that late, is normally the end of the conversation. Then the summer arrived. Mechanical problems struck at Sonoma and again at Chicago. A crash at Michigan followed. Each of those results took a piece out of the cushion, and the cushion did not recover. Iowa Speedway marked the 6th time in the last 9 races that Tyler Reddick has finished 25th or worse. His average finishing position over his last 7 events now sits at 25.8. That is a driver who spent the first half of the season in victory lane finishing, on average, outside the top 25. The Iowa Corn 350 also represented his second race of 2026 that he failed to finish, and both of those came in the back half of the schedule. Tyler Reddick entered Iowa Speedway second in the standings, 4 points behind Denny Hamlin. With Denny Hamlin still running and Tyler Reddick parked after 4 laps, that gap only widened. It is worth being precise about what is actually at stake, because the 2026 format changed the terms. NASCAR eliminated the regular season championship trophy entirely this year. There is no separate title to win. What the leader receives instead is the number 1 seed in the chase and the largest allotment of bonus points heading into the postseason. That is the prize, and for a driver chasing a first career championship, those bonus points carry real value. The other half of this story is Denny Hamlin, and the reversal he has produced is remarkable in its own right. Back in early June, after winning at Nashville Superspeedway from a night that saw him fall from the pole all the way to last in the field before recovering, Denny Hamlin was asked directly whether he realistically believed he could catch Tyler Reddick. At that point, he trailed by 97 points at the midpoint of the regular season. His answer was not optimistic. "Not really," said Denny Hamlin, who at 45 years old and with 62 career wins is the winningest full-time driver in the series. "We'd have to win 3 or 4 more races. He's going to have some DNFs and stuff. So, not really. My goal is to try to stay P2, and that will be close enough with 10 to go." Read that again with the benefit of 2 months of hindsight. Denny Hamlin named the exact conditions required, and both of them happened. He finished 3rd at Charlotte, then won back-to-back at Nashville and Michigan. Tyler Reddick started failing to finish races. An 84-point deficit for Denny Hamlin became an 84-point lead. The age element makes it more striking. Denny Hamlin is producing what is arguably the strongest statistical season of his entire career at 45. His average finish of 8.3 is 57% better than the Cup Series average and the lowest of any season he has run. His 227 adjusted points plus index is the highest he has ever recorded. His average driver rating of 103.7 trails only the 109.4 he posted in 2021. Placed against history, his normalized average finish ranks second all-time among drivers aged 45 and above, behind only Bobby Allison in 1983 and Cale Yarborough in 1984. His 227 adjusted points plus index ranks 4th in that same group, behind Bobby Allison, Cale Yarborough, and Dale Earnhardt Sr. in 2000. Mark Martin also appears repeatedly on those lists, having produced comparable seasons at age 50, and Denny Hamlin is still chasing his first Cup Series championship. He also co-owns the number 45 car that Tyler Reddick drives for 23XI Racing. So can Tyler Reddick still take the number 1 seed back? The honest answer is that it is difficult, and Iowa Speedway made it considerably harder. The schedule argument runs against him. Tyler Reddick's clearest advantage is on road courses where his average rating over the past 3 seasons is 95. 7 compared to 59.5 for Denny Hamlin. That is an enormous gap. The problem is that Denny Hamlin's advantage on short tracks is nearly as large in the opposite direction, with an average rating of 105.2 against 73.4 for Tyler Reddick. On ovals generally, the two are close, with Tyler Reddick at a 114.3 driver rating this season against 116.2 for Denny Hamlin, which makes ovals either a wash or a slight edge to the number 11. The remaining calendar simply contains more short track and oval racing than road course racing. Tyler Reddick's one structural advantage does not appear often enough to offset a deficit of this size. There is one important piece of context on projections that needs to be handled carefully. A forecast model published by NASCAR in mid-June gave Tyler Reddick a 74% chance of holding the number 1 seed, with Denny Hamlin at 26% and Ryan Blaney at 0.5% while sitting 157 points back. Those numbers were calculated when Tyler Reddick still led the standings by 51 points. They should not be presented as current figures. The situation has inverted completely since that model was published, and the accurate framing is to treat those percentages as a measure of how much has changed rather than as a live projection. One thing is not in doubt. Tyler Reddick's place in the chase is secure regardless of what happens over the remaining races. This fight is about seeding and bonus points, not about survival. That brings us to the part of this story that will get overlooked, and it should not be. Erik Jones is the driver who lost the most on lap 4. He entered the week 18th in points, 412 behind Denny Hamlin, and only the top 16 drivers reached the postseason. Iowa Speedway was supposed to be the beginning of a stretch of near-perfect weeks for the Legacy Motor Club team. We needed a few perfect weeks, and it needed to start here today for our Dollar Tree Toyota team, and obviously that didn't happen, Erik Jones said. Just unfortunate with how early it is. I'm just trying to settle in and get going. His assessment of what remains was blunt. Yeah, it's going to be a long shot from here. We're going to be deep after today. It would take a heck of a run in 3 races to point our way back. It's a bummer. We needed 4 really good weeks, and it's just not going to happen. He also described the road ahead in plain terms. It's a bummer. It's a huge mountain now for here on out to get to the chase, so we will see. For Tyler Reddick, Iowa Speedway costs seeding and bonus points. For Erik Jones, it likely costs the postseason entirely. That asymmetry is why Tyler Reddick kept returning to the same point in his comments and why he called the result unacceptable rather than unlucky. Which returns us to where this began. Tyler Reddick's season does not need saving because he is already in the chase. But the driver who opened 2026 with 5 wins in 9 races, 3 poles, and an average finish of 5th has not appeared in 9 consecutive races. The version of him currently on track is averaging a finish of 25.8 and has failed to complete 2 races. And the man who has passed him for the number 1 seed, who is 45 years old, who has 62 career wins, and who is putting up the best numbers of his career, is the same man who signs the checks at 2311 Racing. So the question worth debating is this: is what we are watching a Tyler problem, or is it a number 45 team problem? The mechanical failures at Sonoma and Chicago were not driver errors. The crashes at Michigan and Iowa Speedway were. Both categories have cost him roughly the same number of points, and both need to stop within the next few races if he intends to enter the chase seated first.